Welcome, everyone. This is Coffee with the Journalist. I'm Beck Bamberger. I'm a publicist, and we're here on this show today because we talk about how to get better relationships with journalists, reporters, editors, freelancers, all the people that make the media world go round, frankly, and we need each other. So we're here to demystify how we might better work together. And with us today on video, too, this is like new format for us. I have to get all prepared, Alan, is Alan Neuhauser. He's the climate deals reporter at Axios Pro, quite prolific in your background. Alan, you're a doctor of law, JD. You've been at Wall Street Journal. You've been at Washington Post. Actually, not Wall Street Journal. Wait, yes, at the
I've
Washington
published
Post.
Freelance stories there, but I wasn't in the newsroom.
And the New York Times and various other things. Yeah. So we are here with you today. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It must not be a boring time in climate for you to be reporting on that. So congrats on that. Let's first, though, demystify, if need be, what Axios, specifically Pro, entails and covers, and then we can get a little bit more into your stuff.
Sure. So we follow the deals landscape. We've got a few different verticals: retail, media, fintech, health tech, and then us at climate. And our lodestar really is to be the go-to source for what the heck is happening in each of those industries day in and day out. Our guiding principle is respect of our readers' time. Everyone is busy out there, especially in this B2B space, right? So we want to arm our readers with the information they need and that they need now, and to do it as quickly as possible. So that's what we're trying to do every day.
Respect. That's our guiding principle. How refreshing. How refreshing. Yes. And for those maybe not as familiar, Axios is known for bullet pointed, quick, it's breezy, it's quick, but a deeply researched, it's not junky little random thoughts. No, it's not meant to be that way. So, Alan, then on the climate side of things, what are you looking for pitch wise? And then we'll talk about your inbox.
It's not dissimilar from anything else that, you would expect, right? The stuff, and this is going to be probably painfully intangible, but
that's okay.
Stuff that's salient, really understanding what our readers want. And that's, if you know that in PR, right? So for us, our readers are venture capital investors, private equity investors. What are the deals that they need to know about? Our entry point is typically fundraising announcements. So-and-so startup has raised X amount of money in a series, whatever. But it could be any kind of business type story along those lines. And those are what's been most successful as far as pitching to myself and my colleague, Katie.
Okay, good. Katie to know. Oh, maybe she could be on here too.
Yeah, she'd be great.
Alan, do you have a way in which you manage your inbox, or tell us how that goes?
I have given up on Inbox Zero a very long time ago. Thank God that the search function is as strong as it is. I do have a filter for emails that say embargo. So those do go to a specific folder that I look for.
Oh, that's a good tip for people.
Otherwise,
Do you have one for exclusive? Or maybe those don't happen. Yeah, have that. Why not?
Yeah. I'll make that after this, actually.
Okay. There we go. Hot tip. I was just talking with someone over at CNBC, and every 90 days their inbox is dumped. So you just lose. Isn't that amazing? And there's many of the big outlets, they just have that. It just goes away because it's just, Can you imagine the AWS bill on this? No. So you've given up on Inbox Zero. You do have a filter.
Yes.
Do you have any other means to control the slog?
As far as the emails coming in?
Exactly.
No.
Okay.
I mean, internal emails are easy to filter, from the Axios addresses, but otherwise it's just staying on top of it as much as I can day in and day out.
And are you looking at your inbox pretty frequently, like every couple hours, every hour, every moment? I don't know.
It's just up. Because the thing about it, right, is the Axios stories, because they're short, right? The maximum word count that I try to abide by is 250, if not shorter. Right. And so I'm kind of keeping an eye on my inbox because I'm not spending most days. I'm not head down in a story all day, so that makes it easier to check in on what's incoming.
Okay, got you. Okay, so you check in now with all the emails you do get. I'm assuming Do you open every one? Do you slide through? No. Okay. No. That's
No.
like no. Okay. Great. So you
Because
hit delete or what?
yeah, because I don't love the Outlook desktop client, so I just use
Mm,
the online we use Gmail for
yeah,
our
we do
access to
too.
email, so I just use the online portal,
Okay.
um,
Great.
which is maybe painfully analog, but it
Hmm.
means I don't need to open every one to go through it. There's not that sidebar setup. So no, most emails I'm not opening because the vast majority are not relevant.
Yeah. Okay. Do you then can you immediately tell from the subject line?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. What's a good subject line for you for a pitch?
Um,
For a pitch.
So there's the obvious answer, right? Which is if it's an embargo or it's an exclusive, just putting that right in the
Yep.
subject
Put
line.
it right there.
Um, Things that are short, not too complicated. It helps that climate deals is pretty niche to an in respect. I mean, climate is getting bigger and bigger, right?
That's true. That's
The
true.
places that we're touching are ever expanding. But what we're following again is this where the money's going, where the investment is happening. So I
Hmm.
can tell pretty quickly from a subject line, is this about some random Bureau of Land Management announcement that
Yeah.
yes, personally I care about, but like professionally I don't
Not for
need
sure.
to
Yeah.
open? Or is this TPG announcing something,
Yep. Yep.
some private equity firm, and actually putting the company name in the subject line, especially if it's recognizable,
Yeah.
definitely helps.
So company name, like funding amount as well. You want to see that in there too, or no? You don't really care. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, if it's a bananas number, that always helps.
What's bananas now, by the way? 200 million, 500 million.
Nine figures these days, let alone
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
let alone 10 or 11. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Approval process. I'm curious about this, especially with Axios and how short it is. And we haven't talked about this lately on this show. What is that like for you? Do you have to go pitch your boss, your editors, and stuff and say, I want to do these 7 stories tomorrow? Or how does it go?
Well, first of all, if I had to do 7 stories for tomorrow, I'd have a heart attack.
Yeah, okay. I thought so, but
But
just throwing it out there. I didn't want to downplay
yeah,
your rigor, Alan.
I appreciate the
Okay.
confidence, but nonetheless, we we used to use Trello. We've gone to a platform
Mm.
called Notion that's
Yeah.
much more. I love Trello. I miss Trello, but it's similar.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And we'll update that kind of, and then we'll have a check-in call at some point in the afternoon. My colleague Katie Fehrenbacher and our
Mhm.
editor Mike Flaherty, and that's an opportunity to touch base and say this is what we're working on.
Okay.
It's rare that it's not so much pitching our editor because he trusts us, right? We're supposed to be the subject
Yeah.
matter experts.
Yeah.
Occasionally, especially if it's like a company with a teeny tiny fundraising amount, right?
Hmm.
500K, but it's a compelling technology.
Yeah.
That would be a question of, do we write about this? Do we care about this? Is there something more valuable? Um, but Mike is commonly deferring to our judgment. Be like, hey, you
Hmm.
tell me, like, what do you think your readers care about?
Okay. That's kind of nice. So that's just kind of an informing, updated meeting. Like I'm going to be looking at this, writing that, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
That is kind of refreshing.
Yeah. And,
Is
and
there
he'll and he'll
Yeah.
he'll occasionally veto something, right? Like
Yeah, I
he'll
was
say,
just gonna, that was kind of
yeah.
my next question. I was thinking like, is there ever a like, nope, no, you're not doing that. No.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
this either I don't know if this works or this got covered already or we did this before
I can cover.
or it needs more
Oh,
time.
let's talk about that a little bit. Doesn't come up here too often. It was already covered. So this is a whole freaking thing with Publicists. Like
Yeah.
exclusives. That's a whole other conversation. But for you, and where would you get the X when it's like it's been covered? It's been covered by one outlet. It's been covered at all. I saw it on someone's LinkedIn profile, or yeah, someone already wrote about it 10 times. That should be an obvious one. But like, what's the already covered definition?
It's definitely no one answer, but it comes back
Yeah.
to again this principle of respecting our readers' time. Do we have
Mm,
because we're at the newsletter, right? It pops into your inbox. It is
mm.
imposing on our readers, on our subscribers to
Yeah. Yeah.
open it. It says,
Yep.
please pay attention to this. And
Yes.
so, can we add value to it? So commonly, if there's some blockbuster mega deal involving BlackRock or something, so there's someone else, the Wall Street Journal will have that story or something. For us, the question becomes, okay, is there insight that we can add that makes it useful so that arms our readers with interesting and compelling insight.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or, maybe one of our colleagues wrote a story that we can add a thought bubble to. That's kind of, I think, the versions that takes. And if the answer is no, then there are better ways for us to spend our time.
Simple enough. Simple enough. I like that. Okay. How about relationship building with publicists, Alan? Do you want to ever meet publicists in person? Ever? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the
You're in
publicist.
Boston area too, just for people to know.
Yeah, so a lot of it is location dependent, right? So
Yeah.
I'm down outside Providence. The short answer is yes. Publicists are who I'm talking with most day in and day out. Maybe investors, but probably, frankly, publicists. And so, yeah, I do want to know the person that I'm working with, especially if they specialize in this area.
Hmm.
I'd say, especially with remote work and now not being in a city like DC or New York or Boston,
Yeah.
um, those meetings most often tend to occur at conferences, which have almost become the time that's set aside to just meet with people.
Yeah, that's a good point. Speaking of, and you know what? No one has really commented on that or said that. Like that's where now we meet. So when you go to a conference, and by the way, we'd love to know which ones you're going to. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Are you then interested in having those set up meetings? Do you want to have the coffee meetings before, the big talk or something like that? Or are you just like, I'll just see you on the floor wandering around?
I think it's really dependent. It depends. It's tough, right? Because these conferences are often so wall to wall.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't give much time. Yes.
No, but
No.
like a 15-minute, a 30-minute coffee, especially
Yeah.
if it's near where other stuff is happening. If I don't have to walk 2 blocks to the coffee shop, if it's near there, then that helps. And also
Yeah.
too, like, is it a publicist who specializes in climate with a lot of venture capital clients or a lot of startup clients?
Yep.
Then
Yep.
yes, absolutely, totally makes sense to me.
If you
If
got
they're
one, meh.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you're looking for density of clients. That's a good point for people to realize and see. Okay. Good to know. Now, what conferences are your must-dos?
All right. So my
Tell us
conference
about it.
calendar keeps growing, right?
Okay. Yes, of course.
But I think the musts are Climate Week, New York, which is coming up.
Yeah. I'll see you there,
Yeah.
sir. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hit you up. Yeah. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Send me the stuff you're going to because I would actually be interested in seeing. That's the other thing too, right? It's helpful to compare notes of
Yeah. It's
who's
kind of,
going
yeah.
where.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Cool. Okay.
And that's the other thing too is like Climate Week is super dispersed. It's a hot
It's
mess.
all
It's like
over the
right.
place. It's,
Yeah. Sarah Week, which is another must go, is in one, albeit giant, convention center in Houston. That makes it easier to meet in a lot of cases.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I know. Oh, they have all these tech weeks in LA and SF and again New York, and you're like, okay, but have you seen LA? It's we're spending 45 minutes getting 3 miles. No,
Yeah.
it's very hard. Yes. Okay. Okay. Any others that you love?
RE Plus is good, but enormous. I actually went to one called Blueprint that would happen to be at the same time as RE Plus last year. It was focused on sustainability in real estate and construction. That had a lot of investors. And again, for me, right, that counts.
Yeah,
So
for
that
you.
was
That's
great.
what you want. Yeah.
I actually spent most of my time on that floor instead of the RE Plus floor.
Good to know.
And then, my colleague Katie, she's based in the Bay Area, so she goes to San Francisco Climate Week. She goes to Green Biz Verge. I think that's probably another good one. And then you hit the ones that are local too. MIT Energy Conference. Would I travel for that? Probably not. But
Probably not.
going to it for the day nearby, it's perfect.
Okay. This is good. Good to know. What about sources for you, Alan? Obviously, VCs who are cutting these checks and making these deals. But are you ever looking for, what, I need that PhD who's got the chemical engineering background in X because I want them on speed dial when I have a material science question?
Occasionally,
Okay.
less than it used to be.
Oh, okay.
So one example is offshore wind right now has been having a devil of a time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The turbines keep breaking.
Yeah.
They've been getting hammered on earnings. This is going back a little bit, actually. I'm not sure how current that is, but I know last year it was ugly. And so it was a question of why are these turbines breaking over and over again? And so that was a really great opportunity to talk to the people who are studying how these things get built, who build the computer simulations, who design the layouts. And that was a level of expertise that investors, even if they had, right, that's coming, it's what some engineer tells them. So to get it straight from the source was valuable.
Okay, good. Any others?
That's the one that comes most recently to mind. I mean, it comes up, I'd say, once a quarter, that there's that kind of story where that kind of subject matter expert would be useful, but it's not more than that.
Yeah, so very rare. Okay. Got it. So would more the VCs who are making 10 deals over 2 years or something more viable? Okay.
VCs, analysts,
Analysts, yep.
yeah, that private equity, anyone in that sort of that finance, market research, analyst space.
Okay. Oh, and analysts. Good to know. Okay. We covered relationship building with Publicists. Got to have the density.
Yeah.
Got to have the LPs or the VCs on here. We talked about pitching. Is there anything, Alan, that drives you crazy with Publicists?
No, only one, maybe one and a half thing comes to mind, right?
Okay.
The subject line, your story, is awful. I have gotten that.
Oh, no. I've never heard that. Just subject line, your story, as in any story you've written in the last whatever.
Well, yeah, and that can be, it's like there's like a bomb in the box, right? Like you don't know, is this going to be someone complaining about the story that I just published?
Yeah.
Or is this
Good point.
Or is it someone saying, thank you, I enjoyed reading it, great working with you, whatever. And it is a total coin flip every time, but it is always an immediate surge of anxiety when that pops into, did I just get something wrong in this piece?
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, the heart palpitations. You must have that. Does that happen a lot, by the way? People emailing you being like, listen, sir, I did not enjoy that.
Yeah. And look, you would rather know, right?
But yes, I get. But what are they saying? I didn't like your third bullet point.
Yeah, or let me make something up here. Going back to the offshore wind example, this is not the case, but I'm off the top of my head making this up. What the way you described the way wind farms are laid out, affecting how blades wobble or whatever, was not accurate. That's kind of a benign version of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, whether it's a mistake I made or something that someone just disagrees with, I'd rather know, because then I can A, fix it, and B, make sure to remember it for the next time.
Okay. Yes. Good to know. By the way, do you share those little comments amongst your colleagues? Hey guys, look what I just got today.
No, the only example was, this is going back some years. Someone accidentally sent me their vampire. So it was a comment about the story, but then they had hit paste by accident. It was vampire inspired fan fiction.
No.
That was very, very spicy.
No. Wait, was it like your article, Alan, vampire post?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. And it was, I might have shared that, not widely, but with a couple people who are sitting next to me.
Selectively.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. This is why, man, email lives forever. So be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Any way for Publicists to make your life easier, Alan, besides just short, good pitches?
No, I mean, it's all the stuff we know, right? And it's hard because everyone's busy. It's hard being a publicist. It's hard doing client service. It's hard trying to figure out what every reporter wants. And there's a million of us, right? And so figuring out what someone at this publication wants versus that is a challenge. So I appreciate that. Short and sweet,
Yeah.
I guess that's expected coming from Axios, but truly.
Yeah.
The other thing is data. Data punches above its weight.
Okay. Now, what type of data? Because I've seen pitches where you're like, oh, yeah, look at this. Oh, we reviewed this data. And it's like, it's national. It's from the Fed. It's very simple to see this. It's not exclusive data in any way, shape, or form. Do elaborate.
Yeah. So if it's not BS, right? We've all seen those, Valentine's Day versions of, if you do this, so-and-so, that kind of thing. Or market research reports, which are not great. But if it's counterintuitive, It's
Mm-hmm.
great. Obviously, if it needs to be reliable. I got a pitch recently from someone citing the pounds of, I keep going back to offshore wind, 6,000 pounds or whatever, or 6,000 tons of offshore wind blades get recycled every, X many years. I forget what it was exactly.
Hmm.
That's interesting. And if
Hmm.
there's a way to get an annual figure for that, that shows an
Huh.
increase in that
How do you
recycling.
recycle a damn blade? Have you seen
Right.
those things? They're huge.
Yeah. 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 Break it down. I don't know.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
This is why I love business, because
Yeah.
there's someone whose job is that.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's another way to get a different spin on a story, right?
Yeah.
Ford slowing down its EV investment, or changing how it's
Uh-huh.
investing EVs. If someone's got compelling data on mid-sized electric trucks or something like that, and that offers a way into that story,
Mm.
amazing.
Mm. 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 Good, good. I'm going to be thinking about how do you recycle the blades of a wind turbine. Thank you for elaborating on how Publicists can be helpful. I do have my little rapid fire question set.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I hope so.
Okay, you're ready. Video or phone interview?
Ooh, that's actually a hard one. It depends, which I know is not helpful.
Yeah, no, it does depend. A lot of people say
Yeah.
it depends. Okay.
Yeah.
Depends.
Phone. I'll go phone.
Phone. Okay. I'm sure we know it's bullet points versus paragraphs for pitches. Bullet points, yeah?
Bullet
If you
points,
could,
yeah.
bullet points.
Yeah. But if
Okay.
the bullet points are paragraphs, then it becomes moot.
Then it's silly. Okay. How about images attached versus a Dropbox zip file? Is that even relevant?
It is not. It's
Okay.
not. The only issue is if the attachment gets flagged by a spam filter. But
Yeah. Okay. Email versus a DM somewhere, Twitter, X, LinkedIn. Nah,
I do not check my DMs.
me
So
neither.
email. If it's someone, if it's someone I have a relationship with, then text is fine. Text is
Oh,
great. Yeah.
oh. Do you ever get, by the way, cold called? Like from,
Rarely, but I still
yeah.
do occasionally.
Oh. I missed a very important call myself because there was a voicemail left, and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't listen to any voicemail." So yeah, I feel you on that. Okay, follow-ups, one or many?
Many. There's no such thing as too many emails.
I've never heard this answer before, Alan. Okay, many. Okay, good.
Many. All the emails.
Direct or creative subject lines?
Direct. 100%.
Direct. Press release or media kit?
Oh, press release, please.
And is there a time you read pitches? You said it was kind of just a scrolling all the time.
Yeah, it's I mean, so our newsletter goes live at 11:30 in the morning.
Yep.
So we're in the heat of production from 7:38 until 11:30. So in that afternoon slot, I'd say, but honestly it doesn't matter. I'm constantly checking.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Send them whenever.
Okay, send them whatever. Okay, very good. And then we already talked about sources, so I think we're good there. So to wrap us up, Alan, how may we support you, promote you, etc., celebrate you? We always like to see, like, what's the ask? Get the emails. Okay, besides your newsletter, what else? If there's anything else.
Oh, like where to find me?
Oh no, we know where to find you. We got that part. No, this is just like, hey, do you have something to plug? Are you
Just
going to be on stage somewhere? We want to hype you up.
Oh no, just keep reading Climate Deals. Check it out. Subscribe. Recommend it to your clients, your colleagues. And if you're at Climate Week, come find me.
That'll be me with you, Alan. Yes, consider it done. Excellent. Well, Alan, thank you for being on here. Thanks for being on video. It's kind of our new little thing, It's fun.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Alan. Again, Alan Neuhauser, Climate Deals reporter at Axios Pro. Check out the email. See him live in New York City. There you go. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you.